What's up, YouTube? So I'm out here on this little back road called Piuma Road. It's in Malibu. Most of the roads are all washed out. I had to take this little back road. I've been on it before, actually many times, and I think I've showed videos on this back road as well. Apparently Las Virgenes is all washed out, which is like Malibu Canyon, right? That's all washed out right now, and it's completely blocked off. It's been raining out here for the past couple of days, and it's been really bad. And this is what happens every single time. Whenever there's a really bad fire, look at that. This whole mountain one day is coming down, by the way. At some point in time, all this rock and all this sand is just going to get eroded, and it's probably going to get eroded from out from under this road, and the road's going to collapse. It's just a matter of time. But anyways, Las Virgenes is completely closed off, and this is what happens every time there's a huge fire in Southern California. What we always see after is a big heavy rain. I don't know if somehow they're interconnected or if it's just a coincidence. But in my opinion, it seems like it happens every single freaking time. And it's super dangerous, man. Driving out here on these little back canyon roads, I'm going slow. It might look like I'm going fast, but I'm doing 10 or 15 mile an hour max. Like, it's super dangerous. And all it takes is one big old boulder to come ripping down this hill, and I'm done. I'm done for it. You can kiss Cameron goodbye. So anyways, Malibu Canyon's closed out. Topanga Canyon's closed off. You know, Topanga got hit pretty hard, believe it or not, by the wildfire. It took out a lot of houses and a lot of structures. They were able to stop it, halfway through, but it still took out a lot. Man, there's a lot of runoff in these. It still took out a lot of houses in Topanga, which is so sad. And it seems like every other day Topanga Canyon's blocked off or closed off, This whole road is gonna get washed out one day. All the cliffside to my right is coming down one day. And all I can do is hope these guys slow down in front of me so I can get by. All I can do is hope that when this cliff comes out, I'm not here. One day it's coming down. There's also sections of Pacific Coast Highway, apparently, that after these rains, it's all blocked off as well. I think I have access to it, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure yet. Yeah, so I got a couple of drops. I got 5 tons of rebar on the truck right now, and I got 3 pallets of sand and gravel. And I'm not going to the Palisades today. I'm actually going north. I'm going to Malibu. All these people right here lost their homes. Hopefully Hopefully this guy will get by. Well, look at all this sand they gotta dredge out. This whole mountain is coming down one day, guys. Like, at some point in time, you know, we gotta stop building houses right on these cliffs. You know, and that brings me to my next topic, the insurance companies. You know, the insurance companies have been pulling out of these areas. Guy going, boy, get out on the road, boy. Insurance companies have been. Think about it. If you were an insurance company, would you want to be doing insurance in this area? No, because it's not a matter of if your community is going to get wiped out one day. It's just when. So, you know, that's what we see. A lot of community or insurance company, private insurance companies pulling out of these areas because of the wildfire risks and natural disaster risks. You know, and we actually heard that from the Federal Reserve the other day in the Senate Banking Committee hearing. You know, there was a senator, her name is I think it was Tina Smith, and she represents Minnesota, and she was asking Jerome Powell if mortgages are going to be available to these natural disaster prone communities throughout the United States, and he basically said no. He said we're going to see banks, and we're already seeing insurance companies pulling out of these regions, but he said we're going to see banks no longer lending mortgages to these communities, and it's really going to be because of the inability to insure these properties in the future going forward. I don't know what this guy's doing. So, you know, and it makes perfect sense. This isn't something new. Like, we know insurance companies have been pulling out of Malibu, they've been pulling out of Topanga, and they were pulling out of the Pacific Palisades as well. And I'm sure areas of Altadena and Sylmar and all throughout Southern California, we've been seeing a lot of insurance companies leaving. And I might need to get over. So what does that really mean what does that really mean for the real estate market in these communities where insurance policies or mortgage insurance will no longer be available? What's going to happen to these properties if they are uninsurable in the future? What's going to happen to demand? What's going to happen to values? You know, and we're still in a high interest rate environment, right? Like the mortgage application rate is at a 30-year low. You know, there really isn't a whole lot of demand for housing right now because interest rates are they're too high. You know, if you want a mortgage, it's 7 or 8%, depending on your credit. You know? Stuck up here for a little minute, I guess. So there's a lot of unknowns and there's a lot of questions revolving around the real estate market in these areas. What's going to happen to the real estate market in these areas, especially if insurance is no longer available? You know, I guess if you're extremely wealthy, you know, if you're a billionaire or you've got a couple of $100 million. Oh wow, look at this, all washed out. Hold on. Can I go right? Can I go that way? Shit, I'm gonna get stuck. Oh yeah. Oh, we got a problem. Washed out bad. I almost got stuck right there. You still got Army guys or National Guard out here. It's bad. All the businesses are done. Sorry, I kind of like ramble and I go a bit off topic at times, and you know, there's a lot of things going on. You might think that, oh, truck driving's easy, and it's not as easy as it looks. You know, I gotta pay attention and be observant and abide by the laws and drive slow and try not to get stuck. I might make it look easy, but most people, they get behind the wheel of a truck like this and they panic. They don't know what to do. And you throw in mudslides and wildfires, and this is definitely not a career path for everyone. So, anyways, yeah, I don't know what the future is going to look like for these coastal communities. I'm not too sure there's going to be a big demand for housing in these areas. I can guarantee you that if I was an insurance company, I would not be selling insurance in these communities in the future going forward. After what took place here, you know, and when you think about it, if it was up to the insurance companies, they probably wouldn't be selling insurance here at all. The only reason why they are is because the state probably forces them to, you know, or they put like a mandate or a moratorium, like they created a law that says you can't cancel your policy, you know, or you can't cancel policies going forward, or whatever it is that they do. And you know, eventually in time, these will be mortgage insurance deserts. You won't be able to access mortgage insurance in the future. You know, we heard it the other day from the, you know, Federal Reserve chairman. He straight up said it. Banks will no longer be offering mortgages, and insurance companies will no longer be offering insurance to these natural disaster prone communities or regions throughout the country. It's not just California, it's Florida, it's Louisiana, it's Georgia, it's, you know, the Carolinas, it's probably coastal communities in Texas, right? So, and you know, the people who don't care about insurance are the people who are extremely rich. You know, the people who have $100 million, you know, in their bank account, they don't care about insurance. They're gonna buy the house cash, right? They don't care. They might need insurance, like legal insurance, to defend themselves in case somebody sues them, but they don't need mortgage insurance. They have self-insurance. You know, they self-insure. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be a very interesting couple of years. And really what that means is, as more and more insurance companies leave Southern California, the demand for the California Real or Fair Plan, demand for that insurance is going to increase substantially. But I don't know if how true this is, but apparently the California Fair insurance plan has already run out of money. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with all that. That's, you know, to be determined going forward. I don't know how accurate that is, but if it is true, what does that mean? You know, are the taxpayers on a local and state are the local and state taxes going to be going up to offset or make up for the losses on the California Fair insurance plan back end? Like, if they're out of money and people still need their houses rebuilt, who's going to pay for it? Is it the taxpayers? So I don't know. There's a lot of questions unknown. But what is certain is there's a lot of bad things going on right now. And there's risks in the future. So anyways, I'm going northbound on the Pacific Coast Highway right now. And you know, this is basically where the damage has stopped. All of the damage, for the most part, is behind us from here, basically up until Santa Monica, which is, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15 miles south of us. But I don't even know if I'll have access to those communities for a little while, or at least until they clean up all the debris on Pacific Coast Highway. Apparently it's really bad. It's all washed out. So PCH is shut down. So anyways, that's just some of my thoughts today. And it's me just rambling. And again, these are all my thoughts and opinions, and none of which should be considered to be, you know, factual or anything like that. I'm just talking, you know, and speculating. And who knows what's going to happen to the real estate market in these communities? Who knows? It's anyone's guess. Right now, I don't see how any of this that took place is going to be good for real estate. It might be good for surrounding communities, like let's see, Orange County and Newport Beach and Huntington Beach, because a lot of people, I would assume, aren't going to want to live in the Palisades after what took place. They're probably just going to get their insurance money and just take off, right? It's just the easier solution, and the last thing these people want to do is live in a community where there's going to be construction and rebuilding for the next decade. You know, and there's a lot of people speculating that, you know, construction work is going to be ramped up and it's going to be very fast in the future going forward because they have to clean the place up for the Olympics. You know, and I guess there's some validity to that theory, but, you know, we're talking about California here. We're not talking about, you know, we're not talking about a state where they actually get things done, and they get things done fast, effective, and efficiently. We're talking about California. You know, they spent billions of dollars on homeless, and there's more homeless. Like, they spend billions of dollars on high-speed rail, and there's only, I don't know, a couple of miles of railway laid. Like, it's unbelievable. This is the most ineffective, inefficient state in the country by a long shot. You know, it's unbelievable. Companies are leaving. People are taking their money and they're leaving. We saw it during COVID. Like, people were selling their houses and they were going to Texas and Florida and Tennessee, and, you know, they were cashing out while they could. And unfortunately for the people of Texas and Florida and Tennessee and Georgia, you know, that really drove up asset prices or housing prices. You know, these kids from San Francisco and Los Angeles and New York City, you know, their property values basically doubled during COVID time. They sold their houses and they went to these, you know, Texas and Arizona and whatever, and doubled the property values over there. You know, instead of buying a house for $250,000, they said, "Oh, I'll give you $500." You know, and they don't care. They got so much money in their banks, like, it's unbelievable. So, but I think that's all starting to unfold from what I hear. I hear inventory in a lot of those states, in Tennessee, in Texas, in Florida, in Georgia. Obviously, it's like on a local level. You know, you gotta. I'm just talking in broad generalization, but I hear that inventory in these areas is exploding. You know, I don't know if that's because of the home builders going crazy and building lots of homes, or if that's because investors who thought that, you know, the real estate market was just going to continue to go up and up and up, and every year rental prices were just going to keep going up with it. And now they're starting to realize that, you know, rental prices are going down, inventory is exploding, days on the market is increasing, the percentage of active listings on the market with a price cut associated with them greater than 10,000 is increasing. Like, so we're seeing a sell-off. You know, I don't know, we'll see. Maybe it's because interest rates are still really high. They're 7 to 8%. and the demand for housing is just, it's just not there. Just not there. If you're a realtor right now in Southern California, like, you're probably in recession. If you're a realtor or a car salesman, I don't think you're selling very many houses, unless you're really good at what you do. But from what I hear, there's a lot of realtors in SoCal, which really means there's a lot of competitors, you know, and they're all lowering their commission from 3% to 1%, you know. Oh yeah, because they're selling so many houses, right? It's a race to the bottom. So obviously that's a huge generalization. That's not going to speak for everyone, but from what I hear, transactions are down. So anyways, I got a couple of drops up here in Malibu going forward, and I'm not too sure you guys want to see that. So I think maybe that's it for today, and it's Friday, so I'll be going back more than likely on Monday, and then on Monday I'll be filming. Hopefully I can get into the Palisades. We'll see what happens. I don't know. It's pretty bad out there right now, but in the future I'll be posting more videos on the rebuilding process, and maybe I'll also show you guys what it is exactly that I do when I go to these job sites and how I get these tons of rebar and pallets of sandbags and concrete off my truck, right? And film that process. But for now, I'll just stick with this, and until next time, guys, I'll talk to you later.